From industry news to mobile technology, leaks, and rumors, we cover tomorrow's tech news today. eSIM Tech News.
Yeah. Woo.
I just need my space right now.
Fresh off the G5 jet, on my way to a brand new kit.
Welcome back, eSIM Studios podcast live stream, episode number 241 on this Sunday afternoon, November 24th, 2024. My goodness, this year is flying by. I want to thank everybody for joining me today. Got some interesting news regarding Samsung. So we have a lot of Samsung news here today. Interesting news, some good, some not so good, but we'll definitely discuss it. I want to remind everybody, if you do miss this, you can always catch the replay. We're streaming on many different platforms, but if you want to replay this or you miss something, go to YouTube, search eSIM Studios, and you will find our home page on YouTube. Also want to remind you, you can listen to every episode of this audio form, of this show, of this podcast, of everything, not only of this live stream, but everything that we upload, whether it's an unboxing, a review, a live stream, whatever it is, whatever gets uploaded here on the YouTube channel, we also post in the audio form on any podcast platform available. Simply search eSIM Studios podcast and we shall appear. We're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, TuneIn Radio, Amazon Music, YouTube Music, all of the big ones. Tomorrow, Samsung podcasts will disappear. We mentioned that on the last episode. Samsung podcasts are going away, but have no fear. I guess we're on there, but tomorrow we won't be, but nobody will. So, also, go to eSIMstudios.com. eSIMstudios.com. That's our home site. That's where I post all of our content in written form. I also have a section where you can watch the live stream live, and you can also catch previous episodes of our eSIM Studio show on eSIMstudios.com. Now, speaking of eSIMstudios.com, let's pull that up real quick. I want to say hi to everybody. What's going on? Hope everybody's having a good day. I didn't watch a second of the game. I've been so busy with stuff here. I'll probably catch the replay tomorrow. I'm assuming they won. I thought they played at 3:30, but obviously was incorrect. What's going on? What's going on, Brian? Yeah, I'll catch the replay tomorrow. I'm so busy lately. Trying to launch. Oh, speaking of, we have the Gist Content Network. It's my new podcast network, Gist Content Network. So we have Gist Sports, GI, Gist Sports, GIST Sports. We have Gist Sports, Gist Recaps. So we recap all of your favorite shows like a Joe Rogan podcast. Instead of listening to 3 hours of a Joe Rogan podcast, we condense it down to a 10 to 20 minute podcast episode where we discuss the topics of the show, the main points of the show. We not only do that with the Joe Rogan podcast, we also do it with like the Sean Ryan show and some other shows like that. It's called Just Recaps, and where we recap all your favorite shows, so you don't have to sit and listen to a 3-hour episode. We also have Just Travels show. Everything is located in the description box. So I went ahead and posted those YouTube channels. If you want to go ahead and subscribe, we discuss sports, just sports. We also discuss traveling, and technology as well, just tech. So that is in the description box right now as we speak. If you click on the title of this video, and then you click the description box down below, it'll expand the description box. And then just continue to scroll down and you'll see all the channel links down there in the description. So those will be posted. I'm going to update those daily for y'all. So it's a good place to get some in the audio form too. So we have them in audio. You can go to or on the Apple Podcasts. You can check out all these podcasts in audio form, and they're going to be on YouTube as well, right? So let's get into it real quick. So let me open this up here, and let's go to esimstudios.com, right? Okay, so check this out. Let me make sure. There we go. So I posted this morning, or actually just a few minutes ago. I'm sorry. Jeez, I'm so busy I lose track of time. I reviewed one of my unlocking servers that anybody can access, and if you want to unlock your iPhone or Android, simply open this up. I also have a section up here on the top right, iPhone unlock, that goes to a website where I review and show you how to unlock everything: iCloud, remove a device on the blacklist, how to remove a carrier financed lock, remove SIM restrictions if you're financing a device and it won't let you put a new eSIM in there or a regular SIM because it's currently financed. Well, we can get around it. I'll show you how to do all that. But anyways, I posted a review of one of the unlock servers that I use here earlier, but that's not the main topic. Let's get into it. So Samsung. It looks like we're going to see some changes. So there's a new report, a brand new report. As you know, Apple struck a deal with OpenAI. OpenAI is the company that owns ChatGPT, right? So OpenAI and Apple struck a deal to bring ChatGPT to iPhone, right? To assist them in some of their AI features. Now, Nothing was the first cell phone company to strike a deal with OpenAI and ChatGPT because on Nothing devices, I think it's involved in the stable build for the 2A and beta build, and then beta build for the Nothing Phone 2. Anyways, they implement ChatGPT into their devices. Nothing does, right? iPhone was the second company to do that. And now, what do you know? Samsung is in negotiations with OpenAI to bring ChatGPT capabilities to all Galaxy devices. Now, from what I understand, all Galaxy devices means everything from the S24 series, their flagship series, down to their A series. Now, here's the catch. Basically, to run some AI capabilities, and I think all companies will slowly move towards expanding the RAM, adding more RAM to these devices, because using AI functionality requires a lot of RAM, right? So that's why you see these companies steadily expanding the RAM, notably Apple, in their devices, specifically their base model devices. All the premium flagship Android devices have 12 now, at least 12 gigs of RAM. You're going to see Samsung move into 16 gigs, just like Google did. But this should be interesting. So if you didn't know, ChatGPT, when it first launched, it only gathered information up to like, maybe y'all can help me, but up to like 2020 or 2022. But there was a couple years there, a gap of 2 or 3 years, maybe 4 years. I think it was 2 or 3 years, where it didn't have the information. That information has not been uploaded into the ChatGPT servers. Now they changed it. Now ChatGPT, I think it's ChatGPT 4.0, is the new model that pulls info, live info from the internet. Now that O, ChatGPT 4.0, the O stands for online, meaning the search queries or anything that you type in ChatGPT is online, meaning there is no more gap of information. It pulls information. Now, that does pose a challenge to Google, because as you know, Google, that's what Google is, right? You want to find something on the internet, you have a question, you go to Google, it pulls answers from the internet. Now, That's what ChatGPT does. So, and it's similar to Gemini, right? So the AI version of Google Search is now Google Gemini, which I'm a user of. I like it. But how will Samsung moving to OpenAI's ChatGPT, how will that go considering there's Google? Now, Samsung's not gonna ditch Android, right? The S25 series, the S26 series, still gonna have Android. I just think that Samsung will add ChatGPT search or ChatGPT 4o as an online, as a default search engine, and then I think you'll be able to go into settings if this deal is agreed upon by both OpenAI and Samsung. I think how you're going to see it implemented in the operating system is you'll just have a default search engine, probably to ChatGPT, but then if you want to use Google, I believe you'll be able to go into the settings and change it, right? For one thing, if Samsung's still going to be using Android operating system on their devices, Google will be implemented in there. So they're not necessarily going to ditch Android search, but it is nice to have a secondary search engine on there. I know these AI search wars are hot right now, meaning, look, ChatGPT 4o as an online ChatGPT search can take a lot of users from Google, a lot of users from Gemini. My daughter, for one thing, uses ChatGPT all the time for search stuff. Like, she uses that more than Google. Now, I'm the opposite. I usually still using Google for a lot of my stuff. But I use ChatGPT as well. Just she uses it way more than I do, and I'm vice versa. I typically use Google or Gemini more. But this is an interesting move, and we will have to see where this goes. Google has to be concerned about this. Strongly concerned about this, because they could basically, who's to say that all of the cell phone, all of the manufacturers could do this? So OpenAI, in fact, if OpenAI, if you're watching this, I hope so, but if somebody over there watches this, I think you need, and maybe they are, what do I know, but I think OpenAI needs to have a somebody inside the company to basically reach out to these companies, meaning reach out to OnePlus, reach out, they need to have a representative reach out to all these manufacturers, Oppo, OnePlus, of course not Google. Google's not going to put that on there, but all of these cell phone companies, they need to reach out and say, hey, are you open to talk about implementing our ChatGPT 4o, our new search ChatGPT, in as your default search engine, right? So any of these companies running Android can't necessarily drop Google, but they can implement ChatGPT 4o, their search version, into the operating system very easily, and technically you could use it as their default search engine. So Google has to be concerned about this, but it is good for competition. Remember the whole monopoly case thing that we discussed, the Department of Justice basically wanting Google to drop Chrome and sell it off. And we spoke about that on the last one, and Google has a replacement. They're going to merge kind of like Chrome OS and Android together and call it a browser, right? But they have to be concerned, because this would take away a large portion. I take that back. Not a large portion, but it will take a chunk out of the users, right? So it's very interesting to see where this goes. Now, I would assume Samsung would also place this on their tablets as well. And who knows, maybe in the future on Samsung laptops, they'll implement ChatGPT in the Samsung laptops, right? What about a Samsung Chromebook? right? Now, with the news that Google looks like is going to have to drop Chrome, I don't know how that all is going to fall into place on the laptop side. But on all the phones, all the tablets, I would expect Samsung, it looks like, to implement ChatGPT somewhere within the operating system as far as a search engine, right? So I have all that typed up here, basically. If you want to read that, you certainly can. It looks like moving into the future, but that's healthy competition. In fact, that's a good case for Google to use against the monopoly case that the Justice Department brought forward to them, because they can claim to the judge, they can claim to the government, hey, look, we have stiff competition now, right? And competition makes everything is better for consumers, because it makes Google, when you're sitting on top of the mountain, when you're the best of the best, and there's really not much competition, you can kind of kick back your feet and kind of relax a little bit. You don't have to be on your A game because everybody just uses you by default. Well, now that there's competition, you gotta button up your shirt and you gotta get on it. You gotta make sure you're on your A game, and that's good for us, the users. So kind of a good thing, bad thing, not necessarily a bad thing, not a bad thing for us, maybe a little bad thing for Google, but overall, I think it's a good thing for users and for the industry as a whole, right? You're going to see this competition will make Google even better, right? It'll make ChatGPT even better because they know the king of the hill. They know who and what they have to do to get to the top. That's a tall mountain to climb, but look, this could be the very beginning of search wars, basically. So Apple has, they sell hundreds of millions of iPhones out there, and for them to implement ChatGPT into their operating system, that's a big deal, right? That's a huge deal. And then Samsung, the next biggest when it comes to phone sales. So ChatGPT is basically going to be implemented in the top two phone manufacturers in the world, covering hundreds of millions of people. And just like that, just by getting on Apple's iPhones, just by getting on all Samsung Galaxies, tablets, this is a wide awakening for Google, right? There's a new sheriff in town, so to speak. But again, it's a good thing, and I cannot wait to see where this, how this unfolds. And again, nothing's official, but it looks like a deal could be struck here before the new year, which means you might just see ChatGPT 4.0, their search engine, on the next flagship Galaxy device. Now, if you jumped on eSIMstudios.com earlier today, you would see that a first, I know there's been some non-official leaks of the S25 series, but we got one right now. So this is the official. So this leak, this came from inside Samsung documents. Some of the other ones you see online, some of the other ones that we cover are kind of like renders, right? So people have 3D CAD, computer aided design programs, and they kind of will make a phone that what they think the S25 will look like. Well, this is officially from Samsung. So the official first Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra design leaked. Here is your first look. Let me see if I can click on this and get it larger. There we go. Can you? Yeah, that's all right. I wish I could zoom in a little bit, but so it looks similar, as you can tell. If you look a little closely, the camera sensors on the back, they have a little thicker bezel around the glass, around this each sensor. A little thicker, looks similar to the S24 Ultra, but the major design change, which depending on how you look at it, it may be major, might not. To me, it's major, but to the average person, they're like, well, the S24 Ultra and the S25 Ultra, they look the same. And I get it. Most people don't really examine the stuff like I do or like we do. But it does show flat sides, flat edges for the S25 Ultra. Now, I've seen earlier leaks, and again, these were computer-aided designs that random people on Twitter would throw up on there and show. It still looks like it has sharp edges, sharp corners. I was under the impression that this S25 Ultra was going to have rounded edges, rounded corners, similar to what the S24 Plus looks like. So I'm kind of shocked to see that. Now, I wish we got more than just one render. I wish we got it at different angles, because it looks like it still has the sharp edges, the sharp corners, the 90-degree angle corners. From some of the earlier stuff that I've seen, it basically looked like an S24 Plus that was just a little bigger, right? And that would obviously come with an S Pen, right? I think the S24 Plus might be the phone of the year. We'll have to, next month we'll start compiling, and I'll need your help too, lists for phones of the years, our awards of 2024. That's an almost perfect phone, honestly. That's S24 Plus, almost perfect. In fact, I use my S24 Plus more than the Ultra, just because the Ultra is so big. The S24 is perfect. It's big, but not too big. Rounded edges. It's nice in the hand. Cameras are decent, which we'll get into shortly. But kind of interested to see the next leak. So I will definitely keep this in mind, and the next one that pops up, we'll definitely talk about it here on the show. Now, speaking of cameras, there's a new report that came out. Look at this. The iPhone 16 beats the Galaxy S23 Ultra in DxO Mark camera rankings, but trails behind the Pixel 9. Now, if you're not familiar with DxO Mark, that is a publication, an online publication, a reputable publication that all they do is test cameras. They've been around for a while, and they're always cool to go back and reference, to go back and look at the lists, right? But the new iPhone 6, now we're talking about the stock iPhone 16. We're talking about the base model. We're not talking about the Pro Max or the Pro. Just the base iPhone 16 in camera quality, in picture quality, got a higher score than the S24 Ultra. Now, a little side note. So when I got the S23 Ultra, about a year and a half ago, almost 2 years ago, I thought the cameras were, man, Samsung's on the right track. The S23 Ultra had phenomenal cameras, I thought. It was not pixel quality. It was not at the pixel level, but it was up there. I was like, I was thinking, damn, they're on the right track. They need to keep this up, in moving into the S24 and S25. They should have some of the best cameras on the market, meaning they should be up there at the top of the list. They're on the right track. They're slowly getting better and better and better. That was the S23 Ultra. Moving to the S24 Ultra, I have the phone for a few months, and it struck me one day. I was like, you know what? This camera doesn't seem that good. I mean, it's good, but not like, I'm not, wow. When I take pictures with the Pixel 9 Pro XL, I'm still shocked to this day. I mean, I take some photos and I'm like, whoa, that is freaking awesome. And I took some pictures with the iPhone. Now, the iPhone is more inconsistent, meaning there's some really, really jaw-dropping shots, really good ones. But then there's also some you're like, Yeah, I just don't see it. I just don't see it. So, it's interesting. S24 Ultra is not that good. So it seems like they took a step back in camera quality and photo quality. The videos have always been pretty good, but I'm talking about still photos, right? So they kind of took a step back, and I don't know why. I don't know what happened. I don't know the behind the scenes story. I don't know why that is. But you can see here, they got to do something, because if you want to be considered, see, that's something Google. Now, it looks like they've got Google and the Pixel have gotten their overheating issues behind them in the past. And now Google is widely known for having the Pixel as the best camera phone, right? iPhone is up there, whether people are just biased or they really can tell the difference. But Samsung's got to be right up there, right? They have to make major changes, and I'm sad to say it doesn't look like they're going to improve much in the upcoming S25 Ultra, which I'm going to probably get into tomorrow or the next day as far as hardware. What is Samsung going to put in the cameras as far as sensors in this upcoming S25 series? I think they need to improve the cameras on all three models: the base S25, S25 Plus, and S25 Ultra, because there's a big step. S24 Plus, great phone, as we were just talking about, although it lacks a sensor that the S25 Ultra. Now, I know they do that for cost reasons. It's one of the reasons why you got to pay more for the Ultra, right? It comes with a whole extra sensor, but I think they need to do more. Samsung needs to do more. Even the base S25, I guess, upcoming. Because look, this base model, iPhone 16, takes better shots than the S24 Ultra. Just the base. What is it? The $699 one? So who's to say that Samsung can't put badass cameras on their base model? On their base model. I think we as users need to demand this, basically, because even the base model is still not cheap. $800 phone should have the best cameras. I think I get them adding one extra camera on the Pro Max or on the Pro, or adding an extra camera sensor on the Ultra model, but just the base sensors, whatever sensors you put on your base model, they gotta be good. You can't give us this crap. And that's one of the reasons why I would like a S24, a base S24, but I don't get it, because right now, currently, it only has 8 gigs of RAM. Now, on the S25, the base S25, they're going to come with 12 gigs of RAM. Thank God. However, now it's time to improve the cameras, right? These phones cost way too much to have subpar camera quality. Way too expensive. I think we need to demand flagship sensors on flagship devices. And again, I'm okay with them throwing an extra 200 megapixel sensor on the Ultra, whatever. That's fine. People can get that Ultra if they want it for that sensor. But I'm talking S25, S25 Plus have got to have badass cameras on them, because look, Apple's blowing them away with this. Now let's go look at these scores. So I not only have a list of scores here, these are just the top phones, but I also have a link to the DxO Mark website where you can, and we'll check it out here, but you can check it out too if you go to eSIMstudios.com and click on this article. So check this out. For smartphones, the Huawei Pura 70 Ultra. Now, this is a surprise to me, because I assumed the Oppo. I thought I looked at this list maybe a month or two ago and Oppo was on there. Maybe I'm obviously confused, or it was wrong. The best camera phone you can possibly buy in the world is the Huawei Pura 70 Ultra. Now, they don't sell that in the US because Huawei's been banned, but the best phone, the best camera phone you can buy in the United States is the Google Pixel 9 Pro XL. Cameras are awesome. I rarely, you know how I mentioned iPhone's kind of inconsistent, right? The Pro Max. You get some really, really good shots, and then some you're like, I've seen better. It's rare you get a bad shot on the Pixel. It is rare. Plus, you got nighttime mode. You can take photos at night, and you can take videos at night. And they have video boost mode for day and night. You know, that's what the iPhone is missing. But to finish off the list, Honor Magic 6 Pro in third place, a tied score, 158 with the Pixel. And then check it out. iPhone 16 Pro Max, iPhone 16 Pro. Now, if you want to see, where is the S24 Ultra? Let's go to the DxO Mark website. Did it follow? There we go. So check this out. We got, so what are we looking for? Let's look for a Samsung device, right? So check this out. I don't see a Samsung device. Holy crap. Not even in the top 20. Not one Samsung phone. The hell is going on? Samsung, you gotta be kidding me. 28th position. And that's their most expensive phone. A roughly $1,300 phone. Only gets you the 28th best camera. That is a shame. That is a damn shame. That's unacceptable. So look at all these phones that take better pictures than the S24 Ultra. Now, these are professionals. All they do is camera grades, camera testing, sensor testing. This is all they do. So I'm taking their word for it. Look at all these phones that take better pictures than the Samsung S24 Ultra. iPhone 15 Plus. The base iPhone 15. Really Samsung? A base iPhone 15. Moto Edge 50 Ultra. You got to be iPhone 14. 14 Pro. Excuse me. iPhone 14 Pro. Still what? 2 years old. A 2-year-old sub. That's a flagship phone. It's a Pro, but still, a 2-year-old phone takes better photos than the S24 Ultra. Google Pixel 7 Pro, iPhone 16, Pixel 8, Xiaomi, Vivo X100, Oppo Find X6, Pixel 8 Pro, Pixel 9, iPhone 15, Huawei P60. The list goes on and on and on. That is unacceptable, Samsung. Now, I don't want to say anything incorrect. I've heard reports, and I'll look into it, and we'll discuss this maybe tomorrow, right? I think Samsung is putting the same sensors that are in this S24 series, S24, S24 Plus, S24 Ultra. I believe these same sensors are going to be placed in the S25 Ultra or S25 series, I think. Which, when you first think about it, you're like, damn, that sucks. But on second hand, Google had that 12 megapixel sensor in their Pixels for like 4 or 5 years, and they fine-tuned it and fine-tuned it and fine-tuned it every single year, and it got better and better and better and better. But at some point, you got to give up the sensor because there's new hardware to get, right? Well, you would think Samsung, if they're going to reuse this sensor, where's the progression? Why aren't these photos getting better? Why isn't the photo quality, the image quality getting better as the year progresses, as the year goes on, as we get more and more updates? Why is Samsung still in 28th place? Right? Not saying they should be first, but Jesus, at least in the top 10, right? You would think. So they barely cracked the top 30. So I don't know what's going on over there. Again, they've trying to do some cost-cutting measures. You remember that report that said Samsung is not going to use their very best OLEDs in this upcoming S25 series, and that's because the CPU is 20% more in cost. So to keep the prices the same, Samsung has to cut costs somewhere. So they're going to put the S24 displays in the S25s. But they're gonna have to do something about this photo quality, about these sensors, because this is embarrassing, honestly. Now, not to say it takes shitty photos. I've had some really good photos. I'm just saying, I believe there's a noticeable difference. In fact, when I took pictures with the OnePlus 12 compared to the S24 Ultra, the OnePlus 12 took way better photos than the S24 Ultra. Pixel, iPhone, way better photos. You can tell. Like, I don't even have any testing equipment. Just with the naked eye, you can tell. Looks really good. Now, look at this. This is surprising. The Google Pixel 9 Pro Fold is in 30th place. Now, we all know they didn't put their best sensors on that device, but geez Louise, that's not that good. I didn't buy one, so it is what it is. What I would like to see, rumor has it that Google is putting a 200 megapixel sensor in this upcoming Pixel 10 Pro series. So that's not confirmed, but I've seen reports, I've seen leaks saying that the Pixel 10 Pro, Pixel 10 Pro XL, not only going to have that new TSMC built tensor chip in there, but it looks like they're also going to put a 200 megapixel sensor in the Pro series of next year's Pixel 10 devices. So hasn't been confirmed, but very exciting nonetheless, and I'm sure that'll be a huge improvement for photo quality. Trust me, they wouldn't do it if it wasn't a good thing, right? Hopefully they won't be a Samsung and take a step back in photo and image quality in their upcoming model like they did with S24 compared to the S23. But yeah, so let's see here. Hopefully they don't botch the deal like they did with Apple. Yeah, no, I think the deals with Android devices are going to be way better than with Apple. It seems like Apple's behind the 8 ball when it comes to AI, and I think they're still kind of trying to figure this whole AI thing out. While it looks like Android, most Android manufacturers have got a lot of this AI stuff. They know what to do with it, basically, right? Sharp edges look good rather than rounded. Yeah, I like it too. I would like to see it kind of in between. I would like to kind of see it, instead of a sharp 90-degree angle on the edges, I would like to see it relatively sharp, but maybe just a slight curvature. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't have to be a big round curvature like the S24 Plus. But I would like to see some curvature, maybe right at the point of contact between these two planes on all four corners. Maybe just a slight curvature, but it looks good. It looks good nonetheless. I still plan on getting one, so I'm probably going to get that and the Plus model as well. Actually, you know what? I want to get the small one. This year, the small one's going to have 12 gigs of RAM, and I think we reported, right, 12 gigs of RAM and 256 gigs of storage. If you love small phones, that's going to be that's a great option. I did not recommend that in the past because it only had 8 gigs of RAM. Now they're putting in 12 gigs of RAM. Now they're putting in 256 base storage. That's going to be an option for a lot of people. If you like small phones, get the Pixel 9 Pro or the S25. Those two devices will be the very two best small Android devices. Cannot wait to see these get launched so we can talk about them and review them. So I got to get out of here, guys. Thank you for joining me. It's been another episode of the eSIM Studios podcast, episode number 241. I will look into the Samsung camera hardware for tomorrow's show, and we'll see what they plan on putting in their S25 model for this upcoming year. Hopefully they'll surprise us, but we'll see. We will see. All right, guys, have a great rest of your Sunday, a good rest of the weekend. I do appreciate it. Y'all know I always appreciate y'all's viewership. It means a lot to me. I thank you very much. I want all y'all to have a safe and enjoyable rest of the day. please join me tomorrow. I'm going to try my hardest every day, Monday through Sunday, 7 days a week. I'm going to try to start at 3 p.m. Every day moving forward, 3 p.m. Central Standard Time, right? Central Standard Time, 3 p.m. every day. I'm going to try. I'm going to hold myself to it and really see. So I want to get this like a regular, like you see 5 o'clock news, right? So we'll do our own eSIM Studios podcast news, 3 p.m. So I'll see you tomorrow at 3. Take care, guys. Peace.